Hello guys, welcome back to TechDose, and in this video we will see pairs of songs with total durations divisible by 60 problem, which is from LeetCode number 1010. So let's first look at the problem statement. In this problem you are given a list of songs where the ith song has a duration of time at I seconds. Return the number of pairs of songs for which their total duration in seconds is divisible by 60. Formally we want the number of indices I, j such that I is less than j with time at I plus time at j mod of 60 is equals to 0. So let's look at some examples in order to get a better understanding. Now in this case, let's assume that we are given array of time. This time is the time for the songs in seconds. So let's assume that we have 5 songs from 0 to 4. Our goal is to find the number of pairs of songs for which the total duration is divisible by 60. Now this problem seems very simple. So in this case there are basically three pair of songs adding which you can divide it by 60, right? So that is this 30, 150, 20, 100 and then 20, 40. But how do you actually find the pairs? So you need to just return the total number of pairs in such a way that adding the value of two pairs you can divide it by 60, right? So the mod value should be equals to 0. So how do you actually find the pairs? One simple approach can be to just take a pointer, like take an I pointer and take a j pointer. Now for each of this value, let's say in this case it is 30, you will iterate for all the values and check adding which value to 30 gives you mod 60 equals to 0, right? So let's say your first pair was 30, 20. So you will make 30 plus 20 and make it like take mod 60 and it should be equals to 0, but it is not equals to 0. So 30, 20 is not a valid pair. So you will move on to the next value. This is 150. So 150 plus 30 will be actually 180 and 180 mod 60 will be divisible. So it will be equals to 0. So that is a valid pair 30, 150. Therefore it is included in the count, right? So in this way you can check for each value, that is for each song, you can iterate for all the songs, for all the other songs. And that is why the time for this one will be order of n square. So this is the simplest approach and I think this is very simple to implement as well. But can we improve the time complexity below this order of n square? So let us look at some observations to do this. Let us assume that we are given two numbers. Let's say this is x and y and there is a divisor which is z. Now in our case this divisor is actually 60, right? But let's say it is z. Now how to know if adding two numbers will be divisible by z? So one simple process is to just add this number x and y, take x plus y and take mod of z and that value should be equals to 0. Then we know that x, y forms a valid pair, okay? But if x plus y is divisible by divisor z, then you can also say like if you take the remainder of this x and y with this z and add them together, then the value should be either z or it should be 0. So let's assume that you had a number x and you took x mod z, remainder was r1. You took y mod z was remainder r2. Now in order for x plus y to be divisible by z, your r1 plus r2 should also be divisible by z. But this remainder was calculated by taking mod of z. So this r1 should always be less than z and this r2 should always be less than z. So r1 plus r2 should always be less than 2z, right? So what is the minimum value of r1? Minimum value of r1 is 0. And similarly the minimum value of r2 is also 0. So this r1 plus r2 will range from 0 less than equals to r1 plus r2 less than 2z, right? So at what values of this r1 plus r2 can z divide it? Well, if the r1 plus r2 value is either 0, then you take mod with any number, okay, and you will always get 0. So this is said as divisible. So 0 is divisible by any divisor. Otherwise, if the number here, that is r1 plus r2, is equals to z, okay, so z mod z will be equals to 0. So these are the only two values falling in this range, which is 0 and z, right? So according to our remainder observation, r1 plus r2 must be equals to z or it must be equals to 0. Okay. Now in this case, let's take an example here. Let's say the z value is 60 and our x and y values are 140 and 100. So 140 mod 60 is 20 and 100 mod 60 is 40. Now in order for x and y to be divisible by 60, 20 plus 40 should be divisible by 60. So 20 plus 40 should either be 0 or it should be equals to 60. In this case it is equals to 60. Therefore you can say that these two numbers are divisible, right? So this is the observation using remainder. But how does this observation help us improve our time complexity? How it will help us? So let's say this is our original array for song timings for each of the songs, and this is our remainder calculated. Okay, so you can do it in place using the same array if the array is mutable, which is true for this case. Now let's say we have the remainder array, which is the remainder timing. It is calculated mod of z value in our question is 60. Okay, so all the values are taken mod 60. Now these are the remainders. Now in this case the question is slightly changed. Previously what was our goal? Our goal was to find two pairs, that is x plus y must be divisible by 60. Mod value should be 0. But what is our new question? If you take this remainder array, then if we are at a given element, let's say if we are at this 30, then let's say r1 is equals to 30, right? Now you don't know about r2, but your divisor value z is equals to 60. So if r1 is 30, you want r2 to be either equals to minus 30 or r2 should be equals to 30, right? So that when you add r1 with r2, then the value should come out to be either 0 or it should come out to be 60, right? But the remainders calculated here are all on positive numbers and it will always be positive. As I have already said that the remainder sum will range from 0 to 2z, and if you see the range of remainders, it will always be positive starting from 0. Okay, so this value is out of the question. So now you are left with only one value, which is 30. So you need to find, if we are seeing a 30, is there any other 30 to the right? Okay, so what can you do? You can just traverse through the array and find that yes, there is 130 and there could be another 30, right? There can be multiple 30s. Let's say in this case there is 130. So you identified that our count can increase, like this is a valid pair. Okay, that's true. But isn't it taking longer time? Like you have this 30 and now you are searching for another 30. Let's not take this 30, let's take this 20. Okay, so our r1 value is 20, our divisor value is 60 and our r2 value is unknown. Okay, now what can be the possible value of r2? R2 can just be d minus r1, which is nothing but 40. Okay, it has to be 40. So is there any 40 in this entire array leaving this value? Obviously, is there any 40? So how will you make this search? How will you search for the element? You can just traverse through this array and find that there is a 40. There are multiple 40s in this case. So if you just go through the entire array, then for each element you are doing order of n operation, and therefore for all the elements you will be doing n times n operation, so that will be n square, right? So this is exactly the same time which we did using the simple approach. But how do we improve the time here? You can see that there is a data structure which is optimized for searching an element in an array, and that data structure is nothing but a map. So what you can do is you can store all these values in a map. Let's say you stored 30 with count value of 2, that is it is occurring 2 times. You stored 20 with a count value of 1, and you stored 40 with a count value of 2, right? So when you are seeing at 20, you want to find if there is a value d minus r1, that is 40, present in this entire array. You can do it on average time of O1 using this map. So yes, there is 40, and how many 40s are there will determine the number of combinations which you can form. It will depend on the number of 20s and number of 40s, right? So since we are seeing 120 here, 40s are 2, therefore there can be 2 such combinations, which is 2 into 1, number of occurrences of 20 into number of occurrences of 40, right? So this is one way of doing it, like making a fast search on map. So if we are assuming that searching on a map is order of 1 on average, let's say on worst case also order of 1, then for n elements we will be doing it in order of n time. Okay, so let's see a quick dry run of this entire example. Let's say this is our example, this is A, okay, and this is the remainder array. Now this is our map, which is a key value pair. So this is like mod 60, this is the remainder array, and using this remainder array we have formed the map. We have also found the frequency of all the remainder elements, right? So we need the frequency in order to count it. So how do we count it? We don't parse it on the remainder array. We will parse it on the map, because on the remainder array the same elements can occur multiple times, but that will be taken care in the map. Okay, so when you are at this 30, then there are two pairs. So for 30 you need another 30, right? So this 30 two times will be basically contributing to just a count equals to 1. That means only one pair will be available using two 30s. Now when you are at 20, then you need 40. Okay, because the divisor value is 60, so 60 minus 20 will be 40. Is there 40 available? Yes, 40 is available and the count is 2. So the number of combinations which you can form using 20 and 40 will be equals to count of 20, which is 1, into count of 40, which is 2, which will be equals to 2, right? So you had one combination using 30, two combinations using 20 and 40. Okay, now if you move on to the next value 40, then you will see that it has count 2. So for 40 you need to find value 60 minus 40, which will be 20. So 20 is already present and its count is 1. So you might add 2 into 1, count of 40 into count of 20, which will be 2. But if you notice here, we are doing duplicate additions because we had already made combination of 20 with 40. But again, making combination of 40 with 20 is wrong. Okay, we are doing it 2 times. So this will not be included. So we need to take care of the duplicates. Okay, so this is one problem which we need to solve. What is the other problem? The second problem is that if we happen to find remainder equals to 0 or remainder equals to 30, then its pair occurs in itself. Okay, so for 0, if you are looking for a pair element, then it will always be 0, because it cannot be 60. It cannot be 0, 60, because we are taking mod of 60. So mod of 60 will range from 0 to 59, and you will never find an element equals to 60 in the remainder. So 0 will make valid pair with itself. So the count value should be greater than 1. Okay, and the same goes for 30. 30 will make pair with itself and the count value should be greater than 1 in order to make a valid pair. But how to count the number of pairs formed by 0 or formed by 30? So this is our second problem. So let's solve both these problems. So let's see at the first problem. So in the first problem we were adding combinations multiple times. So let's say in the map it was given that 10 is occurring 2 times and 50 is occurring 3 times. Then when we were at 10, and our divisor value is obviously 60, when we were at 10 we were searching for element 50. So 50 was present, it was present 3 times. So the total count value would be count of 50 into count of 10, which is 6. Okay, now when you move to 50, when you move to this 50, then again what we were doing, we were counting what is the pair element. So for 50 the pair element will be 60 minus 50, which is 10. So again 10 is occurring here 2 times. So we will again multiply 3 with 2 and add 6 to it. So the count value will be 12, but this is wrong. We are doing duplicate times. If you see on this number line, then all our remainders will range from 0 to 59. Okay, which are covering 60 elements. So for any given element, there will always be a pair element as a mirrored at value 30, right? If you take from 0 to 60, then it will always be mirrored at this value 30. So for 10, the mirror value will be 50, right? So what we can do is we can count only from 0 to 30. We don't need to count this part, because even though there are values in this part, let's say this was something 40 and this was 45. So in order for this to exist, there should be another corresponding pair on this side, which should be 20, right? So when we count from 0 to 30, then this 20 will take care of this 40. So we don't need to do calculation on this part, right? So this is one important observation to make. But we need to leave out this 0 and 30 because they are special cases. So we will run from 1 to 29. So our first problem is solved, which was counting duplicates. Now let us see for the second problem, which was special case of counting the number of pairs with 0 and 30. So in this special case, when our remainder is equals to 30 or 0, then count of valid pairs will always be n minus 1 into n by 2, where n is the count of number of remainders of 30 or 0. So let's take an example. If the count of remainder 30 is 4, then the number of pairs will be n into n minus 1 by 2. So that will be 4 into 3 by 2, which will be 6. Okay, it will make 6 valid pairs, and I have drawn the diagram. Like you can take this first one and it can make 3 different pairs. For the second one it can make 2 unique pairs, and for this third one it can make only 1 unique pair, right? So if you add them together, it will be 3 plus 2 plus 1, which will come out to be 6. So this is how we can find the count of valid pairs for this 30 and 0. So now we have seen how to count the valid pairs, including the special cases as well. So I think you can now implement it by using the map. I will show that in the code as well. Now let us look at an optimized version of this entire solution. So in this optimized version, it will make use of all the other examples which I have shown and all the observations which I already shown. Now in this part, we need to take a frequency array from 0 to 59. Okay, so this is pretty much required. This will act as a map. Okay, counting the frequency for all these values. Since the range is pretty small, it is from only 0 to 59. So you can take an array of size 60, right? It will serve as a map. Now the second thing to do is multiply the mirror frequencies as I had shown on the number line. So if you are given this array, you will find the remainders, and from the remainders we will have to count the frequency of each remainder. So all these array indices will range from 0 to 59, but I have taken divisor equals to 60 just to dry run this example. Okay. Now we will pass through this array once. So this is like 3. This is 3. Okay. So the count of 3 will be increased. So this will be equals to like 1. We go to 4. 4 mod 6 will be 4. Increment the count. Go to 0. Increment the count here. Go to 2. Increment the count here. Go to 4. Increment the count here. It will be 2, right? So all the frequencies have now been counted. So what will be the count of number of pairs in this case? Now we will just pass through this entire frequency array and find the count. For 0, it will be n minus 1 into n by 2, right? So the count is 1. Okay. So only if the count is greater than 1, it can form a pair with itself, because since it is having just a single element, it cannot do that. For this one, it is 0. Now for this 2, the value of frequency is 1. So what is the corresponding mirror image of this 2? So it will be 6 minus 2, which will be equals to 4, right? So the count of 4 is already 2. So we will just multiply 1 with 2, and the count value will be incremented from 0, and it will now become 2. And where should we stop? We will obviously stop before n by 2. So we will stop at 2 just to avoid duplicate calculations and calculate the special cases 0 and 3. If you look at 3, then it should have count greater than 1 in order to make a valid pair with itself, right? So both these 0 and 3 are not forming any pairs, and for 2, 4 will form the pair, so it will be 1 into 2, right? So the answer in this case is 2. Now what will be the time complexity? It will be equals to the number of elements, that is the size of the array, which is order of n plus you are basically parsing through this entire range, so your divisor. So let's say it is range. Range is your basically divisor, right? So it depends. If you have a larger divisor range, if you have a large divisor, then you cannot take this much of space, and it will also not be feasible. If the number of elements are, let's say, just 100 and your divisor range is, let's say, 10 to the power 6, then it is not feasible to take a very large array. Instead, you can use the map approach. Okay. So let us now look at the code for both these approaches. The first code shows the optimal solution, which is the third solution which I had shown. There basically you need to take a remainder array of 60, and then we will calculate the remainder taking mod, and this is the process. So this is calculating the special case. These two are the special case for 0 and for 30, and this is for the rest of the element calculation from 1 to 29. Okay, this is pretty simple to understand. Now the second one is through the map implementation. So here I have taken an unordered map and I have calculated all the frequency values, and after doing that we will check if it is a special case. So this is a special case. If it is a special case, then it will be n minus 1 into n by 2. If it is not a special case, then we will simply multiply the frequency value of the current element with its mirror element. Okay, and finally we will return the count. So I think the code implementation is pretty simple once you understand the logic. So I hope this video was pretty helpful. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel in order to watch more of these programming videos. See you guys in the next video. Thank you.